the United States of America. For over a century, three simple words have captured the imagination of the world: the American dream. The idea that no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, in America you can build a new life, find opportunity, and create a future for your family. For millions of people across the globe, America is more than just a country. It's the ultimate destination, a symbol of hope, freedom, and success. But there is one obstacle standing in the way of that dream: the U.S. visa. That small piece of paper in a passport, that stamp of approval from an embassy, it is the key to the American dream. Without it, the gates to America remain firmly closed. With it, a new life may just begin. Yet, as millions already know, getting a U.S. visa is not easy. For some, it feels almost impossible. Endless paperwork, weeks of waiting, stressful interviews, and the worst of all, rejection. Imagine saving money for years, collecting documents, dreaming of studying or working in America, only to hear those crushing words from the visa officer: "I'm sorry, your visa has been denied." For many, it's the end of hope. But here's the shocking truth: not everyone faces the same struggle. In fact, your chances of getting a U.S. visa depend heavily on just one thing: your passport. For some countries, the odds are stacked against you. For others, the process is smooth, fast, and almost guaranteed. In 2025, global data, embassy records, and approval rates reveal something clear. There are countries where getting a U.S. visa is far easier than anywhere else. Citizens of these nations enjoy shorter waiting times, higher approval rates, and far less scrutiny. They walk into embassies confident while others walk in terrified. And today, we reveal those countries. The 10 easiest countries to get a U.S. visa in 2025. This list is not random. Each country on it has a special relationship with America: political alliances, economic partnerships, cultural ties, or simply decades of trust. That trust translates directly into easier visas. While citizens from other nations face endless questioning, those from these countries often breeze through with a smile. So, let's dive in. Starting with the first country, a neighbor of America, and one of the closest allies in the world, Canada. It should come as no surprise that Canada tops this list. The US and Canada share the world's longest undefended border, nearly 9,000 kilometers of connection. Every single day, hundreds of thousands of Canadians cross into the United States for work, business, or simply to shop and visit family. The relationship between these two countries is unique. Politically, they are allies in NATO. Economically, they are partners in trade. Culturally, they are almost intertwined. Canadians watch American movies, follow American sports, and many even have relatives living just across the border. For many, traveling to the US is as normal as traveling within their own country. But what does this mean for visas? Quite simply, Canadians have one of the easiest paths to America in the world. Most Canadians don't even need a visa for short visits. For work, study, or long-term stays, the approval process is incredibly smooth. Rejections are extremely rare, and waiting times are short. For students, America is often the first choice, and universities welcome Canadians with open arms. For workers, especially in sectors like healthcare, technology, and engineering, the visa process is straightforward. Imagine this: while applicants from some countries wait months for their interviews, Canadians often get approvals within days. While others face intense questioning, Canadians are usually asked just a few simple questions. Why? Because America trusts them. Trust that they won't overstay, trust that they will follow the rules, and trust that they contribute positively to the economy. For ordinary Canadians, the US is not just a foreign land, it's practically family. And in 2025, this bond shows no signs of breaking. If you're Canadian, the gates to America are always wide open. Japan from North America. Let's cross the Pacific to one of America's strongest allies in Asia, Japan. For decades, Japan and the United States have shared one of the most powerful partnerships in the world. Politically, they are allies. Economically, they are partners in trade, technology, and investment. Culturally, they have influenced each other deeply. From sushi bars in New York to Hollywood movies in Tokyo, this strong relationship is reflected clearly in the visa process. Japanese citizens enjoy one of the highest U.S. visa approval rates in the world. Whether it's students, tourists, or business professionals, the process is smooth, efficient, and fast. Embassies rarely deny applications because America views Japan as a stable, reliable, and friendly nation. Take students, for example. Thousands of Japanese youth dream of studying in America each year. From Ivy League universities to community colleges, they are welcomed with enthusiasm. Their applications are processed quickly, interviews are short, and approvals are common. Tourists also face little trouble. Japanese travelers are famous for being respectful, law-abiding, and enthusiastic visitors. For them, the American embassy is rarely a place of fear. But the story goes deeper. Why does America trust Japan so much? The answer lies in history. Since World War II, the US and Japan have built one of the strongest alliances in modern history. The two nations cooperate militarily, economically, and culturally. And when trust is this strong, it filters down even to individual citizens. In 2025, Japan remains a shining example of how politics and diplomacy can make visas easy. While others struggle, Japanese applicants often leave the embassy smiling. For them, America is not a distant dream. It's a reachable reality. South Korea. Our next stop is South Korea, a country that has transformed itself in just a few decades from a war-torn nation into a global powerhouse of technology, culture, and innovation. And with that transformation came one of the strongest alliances in Asia, the bond between South Korea and the United States. Politically, the US and South Korea are partners through thick and thin. From the Korean War to modern-day diplomacy, the two nations have stood side by side. Economically, billions of dollars flow between them in trade, investment, and business. And culturally, South Korea has captured America's heart. K-pop, Korean dramas, and technology giants like Samsung and Hyundai are part of everyday American life. This trust translates directly into visas. For South Koreans, getting a US visa in 2025 is one of the easiest processes in Asia. Approval rates are sky-high, waiting times are shorter than average, and rejections are rare. Take students, for example. Thousands of South Koreans study in America each year, from Ivy League schools to small colleges. Their applications are often approved quickly because the US sees them as serious, reliable, and committed to returning home after their studies. Workers also benefit. In technology, medicine, and business, South Koreans are welcomed with open arms. Even tourists find the process smooth. South Korean travelers are respected worldwide for being responsible and law-abiding, and American embassies trust them. Interviews are short, questions are few, and approvals are common. For South Koreans, the US is not a mystery or a dream. It's a reality that's always within reach. In 2025, if you hold a South Korean passport, you hold one of the strongest keys to America. Australia. From Asia, let's travel down under to Australia. If there is one country that enjoys a special bond with the US, it's Australia. Politically, they are allies in almost every global issue. Militarily, they stand shoulder to shoulder in NATO missions and defense pacts. Culturally, they share language, sports, and even humor. For many Australians, visiting the US feels like visiting a distant cousin. This unique closeness is reflected clearly in the visa process. Australians enjoy some of the highest approval rates in the world. Tourist visas are often processed in just days, business visas are handled quickly, and student applications are almost always approved. Why? Because America sees Australians as trustworthy, reliable, and unlikely to overstay. The shared language and cultural similarities also make integration smooth, and US officials feel confident approving visas without hesitation. Consider the thousands of Australians who work in America each year, from medical professionals to engineers to artists. Their contributions strengthen industries and communities across the United States. Universities, too, actively recruit Australian students who bring talent, energy, and creativity. Tourists are no exception. Millions of Australians travel to America every year, and very few face visa issues. For them, the embassy interview is usually short and friendly, with approvals granted quickly. In 2025, this trust remains strong. For Australians, the path to America is one of the easiest in the world. With a passport that opens doors almost everywhere, America is simply another destination waiting to be explored. United Kingdom, and now, across the ocean, we arrive at one of America's oldest and closest allies, the United Kingdom. The relationship between the US and the UK is often described as a special relationship, and for good reason. From shared history to military alliances, from cultural exchange to global politics, these two nations are deeply intertwined. For British citizens, getting a US visa is about as simple as it gets. Approval rates are extremely high, rejection rates are low, and the process is efficient. Whether it's a student, a worker, or a tourist, the American Embassy almost always says yes. Students from the UK have a long tradition of studying in America. Elite universities on both sides of the Atlantic exchange students, professors, and ideas freely. For British students, the US visa is almost guaranteed. The trust level is that high. Workers also benefit. From business executives to creative professionals, British citizens are welcomed into American industries. Their applications are processed quickly, and embassies rarely raise doubts. Tourists enjoy the same privilege. Millions of Brits visit the United States each year, exploring everything from New York City to the Grand Canyon. For them, the visa process is simple, interviews are quick, and approvals are almost certain. The reasons are clear: shared language, shared culture, and shared values. For centuries, the US and UK have been more than allies. They've been partners, friends, and sometimes rivals. But one thing is certain: in 2025, if you hold a British passport, the American dream is never out of reach. Germany. From London, we move east into Europe's largest economy, Germany. When it comes to US visas, German citizens enjoy some of the highest approval rates in the world. Why? Because Germany is not just a European partner, it is one of America's most trusted allies on the global stage. For decades, the US and Germany have stood side by side in NATO, collaborated in trade, and worked together on global issues from climate change to security. This trust trickles down directly to individuals applying for visas. German students are warmly welcomed in US universities, where they are seen as hardworking, reliable, and academically strong. Business professionals are often given visas quickly, thanks to strong economic ties between the two countries. And for tourists, the process is smooth and simple, with rejection rates extremely low. The American Embassy in Berlin is often described by applicants as efficient and respectful. Interviews tend to be short, approvals are fast, and the sense of trust is strong. For Germans, the visa process is not a nightmare. It's often just a formality. France. Next, we travel west to France. America and France have a long, complicated history. Allies in revolutions, rivals in politics, partners in culture. Despite occasional disagreements, the relationship between these two nations is one of deep respect. This respect is obvious when it comes to visas. French citizens rarely face trouble getting approval. Students from Paris to Lyon dream of studying in New York, Boston, or Los Angeles. And for them, the path is open. Tourists flock by the millions, enjoying the sights of America without the fear of rejection. French professionals, from chefs to engineers, are also highly sought after. American industries see value in French expertise, and visa approvals come quickly. Why such ease? Because France is a trusted partner. The United States knows that French visitors are unlikely to overstay, unlikely to cause problems, and very likely to contribute positively. This is why in 2025, France remains firmly on the list of easiest countries to get a US visa. Sweden. From France, let's head north into Scandinavia. Sweden may be a small country in population, but its influence and reputation are massive. Swedish citizens hold one of the most powerful passports in the world, and America treats them with high levels of trust. For students, Sweden and the US share numerous exchange programs. Swedish students are seen as innovative, hardworking, and highly responsible. Their visas are processed with ease, and rejection is rare. Tourists from Sweden also enjoy a smooth experience. Known for being respectful travelers, Swedes are welcomed into America without difficulty. Interviews at US embassies are short, often lasting only a few minutes. Workers and business professionals also benefit. With Sweden's reputation for technology, design, and innovation, many find opportunities in Silicon Valley, New York, and beyond. And once again, the visa process is rarely a barrier. In 2025, Sweden is not just a country with high approval rates. It is a symbol of how trust, reputation, and global respect can open the doors to America almost effortlessly. Singapore. Now we travel across the globe to Southeast Asia, to a tiny country with massive global influence. Singapore. Singapore's relationship with the United States is built on business, trade, and security. As one of the world's financial hubs, Singapore is seen as stable, trustworthy, and safe. This reputation directly benefits its citizens. Visa approvals for Singaporeans are among the highest in the world. Students are welcomed, business professionals are fast-tracked, and tourists almost never face rejection. In fact, many Singaporeans report that the visa process is surprisingly quick. Sometimes approvals come in just a matter of days. The reason is clear. America knows that Singaporeans are unlikely to overstay visas or abuse the system. They are seen as wealthy, responsible, and globally minded citizens. This trust means that the embassy process is often just a quick formality. In 2025, Singapore remains one of the easiest passports to hold when applying for a US visa. For its citizens, America is not a dream. It's a reality within easy reach. New Zealand. Finally, we reach New Zealand, a small island nation with a big reputation. Much like Australia, New Zealand shares deep ties with the United States. They are partners in defense, trade, and culture. And for Kiwi citizens, the path to America is smoother than almost anywhere else. New Zealanders are famous for their adventurous spirit, traveling the world in search of new opportunities. For those who choose America, the visa process is rarely stressful. Approvals are quick, interviews are friendly, and rejection rates are very low. Students from New Zealand often choose American universities, where they are welcomed with open arms. Workers in industries like agriculture, healthcare, and technology also find opportunities without difficulty. And for tourists, the process is one of the easiest in the world. In 2025, the bond between New Zealand and America remains strong. Holding a New Zealand passport means holding a golden ticket to the United States. Conclusion. So there you have it, the 10 easiest countries to get a US visa in 2025. Canada, Japan, South Korea, Australia, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Sweden, Singapore, and New Zealand. For citizens of these nations, the process is smoother, faster, and far less intimidating than for millions of others around the world. But this list also reveals something deeper, that visas are not just about paperwork. They are about trust, politics, and global relationships. If your country is wealthy, stable, and closely allied with America, the doors are wide open. If not, the struggle can feel endless. And that raises the question, is this fair? Should opportunities be based on the strength of a passport rather than the dreams of individuals? As we move through 2025, one thing is certain. The American dream is still alive, but it shines brighter for some than for others. And while these 10 countries enjoy easy access, millions of people from other nations continue to fight, wait, and hope for a chance that may never come. The truth is simple. Getting a US visa is not just about who you are. It's about where you come from. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think America is right to favor some countries over others? Or is this system unfair to millions of people around the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, this is only one side of the story. Tomorrow, new policies, new bans, or new alliances could change everything. So stay tuned, stay curious, and join me for the next video, where we uncover even more shocking truths about America's immigration system. And that's all for today's video. These stories remind us how quickly the world can change and how fragile the dream of America can be for millions of people. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. I'll be back soon with another shocking story about America's immigration, visas, and bans. Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.